All right, now we're going to go over the 150 plan. This comes with training showing your management team or owner how to operate it. It's going to come with everything that the $50 plan does. It's going to show the hosts how many events they have. It's going to show what events they are, which $50 plan just comes with the first two tabs. In the web view, now the 150 plan, as you can see, shows I have two events today, so we can go to the events and see I have two events here. There's also going to be the schedule is going to be posted here. Now this is just a demo version, so I don't have everything coded. So let me show you on my agency, which is a fully functional. There's two ways of doing this. If you have a big agency, this is the best way to do it. That way it has all your coding for the next 3 days on here. If your agency's small and you want to make it a little bit simpler, like mine just started a month ago. So what we're going to do is we're going to color code all of your host IDs, whatever color they want. It's going to show the same event. I have two events. One's a theme, one's a friendly. So what we do is we jump over to the theme here, and I can just page down. And as you can see, the ones that we have are highlighted, so they're easy to find. Okay, so that's that part, and that'll also have it for the next, you got tomorrow, then 2 days from now. These are all fully customizable. Let's go back to the demo plan here. You also have your live house. And then there's schedule. This again is fully customizable. This is a setup that I use that shows all your host schedules. It shows your completion rates, your incompletes, your participation rates. And if you follow my tutorial and training, this will actually update all of it on its own. This is 18 months in the work to get all this to work properly. But as you can see on the schedule, a lot of hosts get confused with CST and PST and EST and ABCs. But over here I have a time converter. So once the PK is put in here, the coding will go for whatever their time is. The PST will obviously go once I load the schedule. We also have a goal sheet. There's two different versions of this, depending on what your agency wants. I do put a calculator on here where they can figure how much they need, how many diamonds they need to buy to hit the tiers. I have a suggested tier rate if they're at these amounts, if it's worth investing to the next tier or not. I'm still working numbers. There's a meeting on Discord tonight. Hopefully I can get everything finished to go over that tonight. But I keep these as suggestion. These are flat out trading, flat out, no rebate numbers. So basically, if you follow this scale, there's no way you can take a loss. And any rebates and stuff like that are all going to add to the positive. So I just do this basically as a guideline for not losing money. So if you hit these numbers, it's worth, buying diamonds, trading, whatever you need to do to get that extra profit. Okay, but this, we have the goal tracker. A lot of hosts don't use this, which I don't understand why. It really helps. All your host IDs will automatically update here. It'll all be coded when you add them to that one page. And then basically, we don't have a 400 tier anymore, so we're going to go 3,000. And then as you add your hosts, you could start their goals at the 10,000, 20,000 tiers, And then your starting numbers, you're just going to put here illegal beans, VIP, regional beans. I just tell them to put 100% in here rather than try to figure out the 1/5. It's better to be safe than sorry, so just put the whole amount. When you get your reports, just put your agency percentage in here. And then whenever they want to know what their numbers are, just say their starting beans was 2,000. And they're currently at 3,500. So this will tell them that they need 28,500 beans to hit their goal. and just say you had a 500 illegal beans or VIP beans or beans that just don't count. You put it in there, that'll automatically adjust their goal total. As I see time and time again, people missing their paycheck over less than $100 beans. I mean, 100 beans. Yeah, I'm serious. I've seen it. I've ran 8 agencies on here. I've seen many hosts miss their paycheck for a few dollars. And then this section here, this counts all their percentages, how many events they did, how many they subbed for, how many they missed, and their percentages. Bigo requires us to stay over 90% for the agencies. Then I also have an hour tracker where they can actually track their hours. Anything under 30 minutes doesn't count. This has got to be shrunk. This is just a demo version, though. But like I say, if they only do 30 minutes, 35 minutes, the percentages here, all they have to do is add it. If they did 35 minutes, they can do 0.59 in there, and it'll automatically add up their time. But this is an option for agencies that want to use it. A smaller version of this, which doesn't have all the trackers and stuff, is this here. Is the same part that's over there, except this shows you, the hosts that did their events, billed their events, and missed events. It keeps track of their percentage. As we can see, we ran a few tests here, and this data is actually very easy to put in here. The way I've got this going. I'll show you that in a second. And then we have a screenshot schedule. This here is probably worth $150 alone. It took me a long time to get this all coded. But this is where everything comes together. This is where you do the scheduling. It just places everything together. So for example, to build the schedule, we're just going to use some random ones just to give you an idea how it works. Your agency owner or your management team, say we're going to go to today's schedule, and then we're just going to look for the highlighted IDs, which there's none on here on the demo. So we're just going to just pop a few randoms in here. So we're just going to copy and paste that, and we're just going to slap it here. Now just say Dimples is your host. What we want to do for all of this to work, had to grant access to something that I didn't have set up. It's still a demo version. It's not the actual version. Just say Dimples is your host. What we want to do is, you'll notice in box 1 here, the information automatically went here. What we want to do is always have your host on top. So you can copy, paste, whatever, drop, drag. Just flip-flop the thing. So that way, if you have a replacement, a no-show, you don't have to bother filling out all this information because it's coded where it's automatically going to do it. So when you click to the schedule now, that data just pops right here. So it tells your host that they have this. Now again, their ID will be color-coded so that it pops out. The host input here, I'll show you on a live agency how that works. But then it shows your times, the 2:30 PST, and it shows what it's converted to. Now, just say Lola didn't show up, and Shoeman, myself, is going to sub. We're just going to put my ID right next to her ID. Then we are going to put agency. I'm with Starshine Talent. I own Jay Hawkins Agency. And then you're going to put the start time. Remember, we still have to wait 10 minutes, so we're just going to do 12:40. Now, your host will have access to this. All they do is put the information in. You can do it if you don't want your host to do it, but I find it's easier to just let the host do it. Now, if you're using an in-agency sub, when they're color-coded, the ID is going to automatically change to that color. So that avoids typos and stuff like that, because of course you got to have this correct for Bigo. So once that information is put in, they change this box to sub requested. Let me show you a live demo for an active agency. So these boxes here are going to hit sub request, like these subs were put in yesterday. So that lets your management team know, there's a sub that needs to be put in. All right, then what you're going to do is you're going to, let me show back on the demo version, you're going to go back to your screenshot scheduler where this is where your whole back end is. Now, if you'll notice, all that information is now here. So the only thing you have to do is copy the box and go to your WhatsApp, send it to your team, copy and paste. Now, different phones, different programs. I use the computer. Sometimes the spacing is different on here. So usually what I'll do is I'll just drop it, clean it up a little bit. Sometimes it's on the screenshots, it gets a little jumbled. But that's all you got to do is send that to get approval. So that there just saves a lot of time. Now, of course, all your events are going to be the same. They're all going to pop up here. And they're all going to be numbered so that you can see which one it is. So again, on the live version, you have the drop boxes, which will be coded. You have your host confirm their event. If they can't make it, they can change it available. So your management team will know, and all the other hosts that look at the schedule know that is up for grab. The sub request is when they put in a sub. Then they can mark it completed. If it's incomplete, you can mark that. That's going to show for your data. That's how you track your percentages. If they're double booked, you can put double booked, which means you have to give one of their events away because we can't change the times, obviously, on agency. I put another one here for meetings, so when I have agency meetings, I just throw it on the schedule. And then if your management team is on the schedule, you obviously don't want to put your events complete because it messes up your numbers. So there's a non-agency. And the non-agency doesn't count towards your data. Like you see, I haven't updated my numbers yet for this month, but there's all the numbers, the events we did, how many were completed, how many were incomplete, and we were in compliance at 92.55. Our sub ratio is ridiculous. I don't know why these agencies are missing so many events, but we had to get 60% subs for our events. Okay, back to here. So when you do your schedule, that's basically, all you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for the highlighted ones. You want to just copy it. Go to your screenshot scheduler, which is your back end. You're going to paste it. Just say again, Big Z is your host, so what you want to do is you want Big Z up top. And what that does by putting it on top is it changes here, so if you have a replacement or a sub or anything, all the information's here. Of course, these will all be fine-tuned once it's set for your agency. Now, the public view, this is good for your hosts. I use a program for their screenshots. Let me see, we have to update this because the web view takes 5 minutes to update normally. So when your host, they can see their schedule right here. So there's this is just the web view. Now, if you want them to edit their subs and stuff, then you got to give them access to the main Google Sheets. But this here is just an overview. And then for this part here, the easiest way I find it is you can either do a screenshot, crop it, and they can copy and paste that right onto their screenshot. If there's no sub, they can just do this. I'll have to actually show it on the other version. You can actually just copy this and boom, throw it right on your screenshot. Some agencies still have to turn in screenshots, some don't. The agency I'm with, we still have to turn them all in. My agency, I only have to turn in any that have a sub or impossible events. Those are the ones I have to turn in. But you want to get your host to do the screenshots anyways, just so that you can track if they were complete or not, because